the CEO of Turn-C. Okay, so what they do is they help organizations to get better venue matches. Okay, also she's in PR for the last 10 years, creating business events, doing as a planner. Okay, so I'm really interested to hear what insights she's going to share with us. Also, she's in the top 30 under 30 in the Sunday Business Post. The first last year, sorry, excuse me, last year, that's okay. That's still good, though, it's still good. Okay, and I've never met a top 30 under 30 before, so I'm pretty excited about that. Also, she's a speaker and an activist. She's a chapter leader at Travel Massive Ireland, which I don't know what that is, so I'm excited to hear what that is. And also, she's going to be talking about how to start networking from scratch in a new country. So I know all of us are from different places. Some of us may be quite new in the country, in which case this will be very topical. But what's important, I think, when networking is trying to figure out when to network, where to network, and how to get started. And obviously, because we live in a digital world now, the digital revolution started 40 years ago. So a lot of our networking is done online, right? It's definitely more fun in person, but for a lot of us, if we're trying to fit it in our day, it's a great thing to do online. And so we're going to get some tips on how it works on LinkedIn, where we do it without making people feel uncomfortable, including you, hopefully. So if you want to take it away.
Thank you. 1, 2, yeah, it's working. I prefer this kind of microphone. I don't know, I just feel much more connected and I can hear myself. It's just a personal preference. My name is Pauline, and thank you very much, Lloyd, for a beautiful introduction. It was really, really lovely. Thank you for mentioning everything. I'm 30 years old now, so I didn't make the list. I made the list last year. I was very, very proud. There's all sorts of awards and things that sometimes matter, sometimes do not matter. Sometimes it's who you know, sometimes you deserved it. This was my personal dream and a goal, so it matters the most to me that happened. It was like a goal. I came to Ireland when I was 15 and a half years old, and I emigrated from Poland with my parents. And as some of you who lived in other countries, I didn't know anybody when I moved to Ireland. No aunts, no uncles, no cousins, absolutely zero. And when I went to school, I did 5th year and 6th year and Leaving Cert and then college. It was then when I started to build my network, because all of a sudden, now in my adult life, I'm being invited for an event by a person who went to school with me, or I was being recommended for an award by a person who studied something with me. So the key to networking or getting to know people is doing stuff, not sitting at home, going out there, meeting people. Most of these events that we are attending are either free or they are not expensive. So it's absolutely necessary and crucial to go and attend these events. But for me, networking, you know, Wojciech and Patricia spoke a lot about small talk and how to network. One of my mentors told me that if you want to be good in sales, in selling yourself, is to ask a lot of questions, actually. So like Wojciech said, don't talk about yourself, ask a lot of questions about the other person, where you came from, what do you like, what do you do, and genuinely be interested. Don't do it just to look nice in front of that person. If you are genuinely interested in people and in another person, and if you can learn from them, that's great. Ask a lot of questions. But you know, when you want to become someone in an industry, or if you want to be seen as a certain person, you have to have a brand. And no matter what you do, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are working, if you're a beauty artist, a painter, artist, photographer, whatever, you need to have a personal brand. And a personal brand is how other people see you, not how you see yourself. But you can control that conversation. You can control that message. You can steer the conversation and the messages that go out, and you can control, to an extent, how other people see you. And branding is nothing new. We are talking now a lot about influencers because of the Instagram, and people say, well, now everybody shows off their selfies and so on and so forth. But branding is nothing new. Think of Tiger Woods and Nike. When you think of Tiger Woods, well, a few years ago, we thought he was a great family person. As we all know, that's not the case anymore. But he has been redeeming himself again as one of the greatest golf players in the history. And only from him attending golf matches again, their attendance was raised by 200%. People love him. People associate him with Nike. Nike made a lot of money from him, advertising their products. And the same if you think of Michael Jordan. You're not only thinking of him as the greatest NBA player ever, but also as someone who never gives up, who is persistent, courageous. That's his brand. That is how people see him. And you also, every single one of you, have to have a brand. And you don't need to be a celebrity, you don't need to be someone famous. You all have networks of people that you work with, whether in your environment, in your workplace, or if you're an entrepreneur, or if you are an artist, whatever. It's very, very important to work on your brand. So for me, one of the first things that I wanted to do when I started in my particular industry, which is business events, was to build my brand as a person who has knowledge, who wants to connect people, who wants to learn, who's full of energy. That's how I wanted people to see me. And it takes time. You know, over the last 4 years, I traveled to more than 100 times. I worked for free, I worked for various voluntary causes. I visited different countries, met different people. So it takes time to build your personal brand. And as Lloyd said, I'm involved with Travel Massive Dublin, which is an international travel technology organization. And Kevin, who is a keynote speaker later on, he's also my mentor. He is one of the chapter leaders who started Travel Massive Dublin. And I was invited to join as one of the chapter leaders because I actually met these guys on Twitter via an introduction from a friend who's based in Moscow. And, you know, I was tweeting, I was talking to people. They're based in Dublin. I was based in Dublin. We met via Twitter. Amazing. So it takes time. You need to do a lot of work, but it is very, very good to work on your personal brand. And a lot of people, I did an accelerator, I raised investment, I worked with different enterprise companies, and I had few advisors, very good business mentors, mostly older than me and more experienced, and they said to me, Pauline, you know, you post a lot on LinkedIn, you post a lot here and there, you should separate your personal brand from the companies you are trying to create. And you know what? I don't want to do that, because I actually think that the best companies and the best brands in the world all have a person behind it. Just think Apple, Steve Jobs. He's now treated like a god. He's dead. You have various beautiful shops that are treated like churches, and you have him. Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. He's all about branding and that brand. And there's hundreds and hundreds of examples, and the most important companies have a strong leader, a strong person, strong individual behind it. So when I was creating Turnsea, I wanted to be seen as a person behind the brand. And obviously, as the company grows, you have more people joining the organization. It's not all about you, by all means. You have to be a leader who is helping people to achieve better and work on your company, and you have to delegate. But that being said, I want people from the industry that I spent years and years working with and networking to trust me and ultimately trust in my company. So now, you know, I was based in a small village in County Tipperary and in Dublin as well, but in between, Ireland. It's not the center of the world. We are very lucky. We have a huge technical hub here in Dublin, but at the same time, you know, Ireland is a little bit farther from the rest of Europe. You can't take a train to go to Paris. You can't take a train to go to Amsterdam. You can from London or via the tunnel now, but you can't. But what you do have, when we live in beautiful times, 21st century, you can do it online. like I did it. You can meet people, you can get invited to international events. Think internationally, not only locally. That is what the internet gives you. That's the power of the internet. And one of the most important networks now to do it, that is not overcrowded, that you don't need to pay a lot of money, that you can have a huge organic reach, is LinkedIn. 260 million daily active business users, okay? And a lot of people who are in business or who are working for someone, they are scared of LinkedIn. Well, if I have a beauty salon, why would I be on LinkedIn? Well, you can talk about how, how you would save someone like me who travels a lot, and often after my traveling, I look like shit, so I need to go then and speak at an event, and I want to know how to get rid of my jet lag and how to look better. That would be a totally great blog on LinkedIn. So don't be afraid of using LinkedIn, even if you don't think that your job or your passion or business are particularly, business-focused kind of, if you know what I mean. Everything can be. There are hundreds of, we had someone who is training parents and children. These are people. These people have children. They want to have a better work-life balance. Why wouldn't you use LinkedIn and talk about it? And a lot of people are afraid of that. And I always say, please, please do it. So I don't know what happened there. Yeah, perfect. Probably was just technical glitch. So I'm not going to tell you much about how to do LinkedIn and whatever. There's so many different articles and free blog posts, but you have to invest in picture. We have an amazing photographer, Lucas. He could take a great photo of you. You do have to invest in a nice profile photo. You alone with a big smile, or you doing something. I have a picture as a speaker, because I want to get more speaking gigs. So when people go onto my profile, I want them to see that I am a speaker. So picture, nice summary about you, not too much, don't be full of shit. A lot of people who are very, very important on LinkedIn have very small summaries. And then people who are not so great, they have so much and so many awards and so many great things. Be humble, down to the point, nice, good summary. And endorsements. You have this great thing on LinkedIn. People can endorse your skills, and they can write a recommendation, and do reach out to people and ask them, if you like Wojciech's presentation today, please do endorse him on LinkedIn. Public speaking, endorse, endorse, endorse. It's important, It's like a solid handshake on LinkedIn. Someone sees you, they see good photo, they see nice summary, they see some endorsements. That's what people look at. Showcase your knowledge on LinkedIn. You can share and write native articles on LinkedIn. It's a great tool, actually. And then, if you want to be seen, comment on various discussions and various posts of other people. But don't comment, oh, I like your point of view. Say why you like his point of view. Show your knowledge, and make sure you have something to say, something positive, something nice, and something knowledgeable. Don't just comment for the sake of it. And join groups and engage with people. LinkedIn has a lot of great groups. I'm in event planning groups. There's travel agent groups, beauty agent groups. There's so many great groups with so many professionals. One of the groups that I've joined has 300,000 members of international event planners. Where else would I get that community? And a lot of people are afraid of videos on LinkedIn. Upload a video to LinkedIn. Don't just share a link from YouTube. If you upload a video actually to any network, you get much higher organic reach. Now, when I said share your knowledge, be creative. The worst enemy to creativity is self-doubt, but please make sure you have a knowledge about a subject. You don't have to have university degrees, read a lot of books, watch a lot of movies, talk to a lot of people, but make sure you have some kind of knowledge, because it's all about values. Do not, and please do not spam out messages on LinkedIn, private messages trying to sell to people. Whenever I add someone on LinkedIn, they send me an invite, and then a minute after, I get a long message with the sales pitch. Do you know what I do? Blog, 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 blog. And hundreds of people do it. I absolutely hate it. There's so many people sending these messages. You know, you're not standing out by sending sales messages. Be nice. Lovely to connect to you. How are ya? Something in common. Oh, I see that you live in Dublin. You know, I used to live there for 2 years. Something cool. Connect to people. What you do in real life, what you learned from Wojciech and Patricia, actually do it online. It works the same. And share updates or awards in your posts. Don't share selfies, but share something, you know, you with other people. It's very good to share updates or that we're here at this event. And LinkedIn is also very, very good to actually promote events, to invite people, to post an invitation to an event. But try not to sell too much on LinkedIn, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Now, if you want to become an expert or a niche expert in your industry, you have to serve one particular interest group. And notice that the examples that I gave you of cool people, of entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs, Michael Jordan, of celebrities, they all have one, or they all show one particular interest. If you think of Michael Jordan, you think of basketball. If you think of Tiger Woods, you think of golf. If you think of Wojciech, you think of networking. If you think of me, probably now that we know each other, you would think about events, business events. So the more niche you are, the kind of cooler, closer interest you represent, the better. Ewa Kodakowska is one of the most important or famous Polish trainers, fitness trainers, and she's all about fitness. Lewandowski is all about football. So try to represent one interest group. And the same if you are, let's say, if you like beauty and you have a beauty salon, but maybe you specialize in beauty for older women, anti-aging, that's your expertise. So the more niche you go, the better. And then you represent that interest on social media, in real life, but also on social media. And why is that? Because then, if you do represent one particular interest, it's easier to give value to people. Give value to your followers. Give value to people who read your posts. Simple example, we are at this event, and if I was to post a photo of me enjoying this event on LinkedIn, this is Pauline having a great time with everybody. What value do you get as my follower from this post? Zero. Oh, great, she's at another event. But if I wrote that today I learned from Wojciech that the Queen is using this small talk technique to ask a lot of questions, to make small talk interesting, and then progress the conversation, and I'm at this wonderful event, the same photo, totally different content. You show that you care, you give value to people, and that's very, very crucial. And if you can give value in your particular interest, into your particular interest group, because you represent that interest. That's what it's all about. Building your brand, networking, showcasing your knowledge. The sales will follow. So, yeah, this is what we spoke about. If you attended an event and you want to talk about it, but give value. Tell them about the lessons you learned, not just about the selfies. Write good content based on a lot of reading. We talk about that. Think of what you post every single time. And it would be lovely if you went away with this notion, if there's anything that I can leave you with, that notion of, am I giving value? Am I giving value? Am I giving value to another person? And plan it out, map it out. How many times you're going to be posting? You need to have a strategy. And of course, you can go to an expert agency who's going to map it out for you. But even if you just do it for yourself, think about it, test a little bit. I run a group on Facebook and on LinkedIn called Female Event Planners, and I've noticed that my posts are mostly visible if I post about 8:30. People are traveling to work, so they're checking their phone, or 7, 8 p.m. when they come home. But I did it because I was doing a lot of testing, and then I mapped it out. So even if I was tonight at this event, this is actually a good timing. But if I was attending this event at 11 a.m., I would actually post at 7 p.m. because I know, I tested and I planned it out, that this is when my audience is online. And it's all about them, it's not about you. It's all about them. So you might not heard about it. People who are in social media probably did. There was this social media macro influencer, macro with 2.3 million followers. Loads of followers, making money from Instagram. And she wanted to launch her own brand of t-shirts. That was just last month. And you know what she did? And she only sold 35. She couldn't even sell 36. 2.3 million followers, she couldn't sell 30 t-shirts. Because maybe, you know, people were following her lifestyle, but were they engaged? Did they trust her? It's not about the numbers. As they say, Jesus had 12 followers. Where are we now? It's how people are engaging and if they're going to evangelize your brand. Do you know that in some industries, marketing experts or chief marketing officers are called evangelists from Evangelia, from Evangeli, because they, you know, spread the good word about your company. So you want your followers or people who you are engaging with to basically become your evangelists. If I will go out of this event and I will tell someone, you know what, I was at this event and Wojciech was speaking. He's a great speaker. You know, you should use his services. That's a success. But I know he would be great because I've experienced it. And I am his follower now, and I will recommend him. And yeah, this is what Patricia said also. It's how you leave other people feel about you. But it's not only in real life, it's about social media as well. How do you leave people feel about themselves when you comment, when you post? Yeah, so this presentation kind of got a bit screwed up. But how do you know what people want to read? I said here, do more research. I said 72%, but actually it's just a number. Do research, ask people, hey guys, in the event planning industry, what do you want to read about? What's missing? I was recently asking my hotel partners, what do they want to read about in the newsletter? You know, do they want to read about events? And a lot of them, they said that they want to read about sales techniques and innovation in my particular industry. I asked 50 people, you know, I had a different feeling. I was like, why am I even trying to figure it out? I'm just going to ask people. It doesn't hurt. And I did. And so should you. Ask your clients, ask your followers, what do they want to read about? What's missing? Then you will be different. And just one last small post. Videos and podcasts are taking over the world. Podcasts gives you an undivided half an hour attention. You can be doing something, or your listener could be doing something, washing dishes and listening to you. So it's very, very good to start it. It's also very good to start a video. But you have to have a mentality of a video or TV producer. Map it out. Think about it. Make it as a kind of series. We all have our favorite shows, Grey's Anatomy, Game of Thrones. It's a show, it's a series of episodes. So if you want to have a podcast or if you want to have a video, have a title, have episodes, think about when you will be posting, be consistent, because people are just going to find another show if you are not posting 2 weeks in a row. So it's just a little, you know, tip to end with. If you do want to play in that field of podcasts, producing a video, fine and well, but have a mentality of a video producer. And again, think of your audience. What do they want to see? What do they want to hear? Are they getting a value out of it? And yeah, be entertaining, be on topic, and make sure it's correct with facts. That's it from me, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, love to connect you all. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.